Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chris Cozzolino, the co-founder and head of services at Uptown Creation, a B2B marketing and business development company. So today we're going to be talking about the 3 ways to bypass messaging limits on LinkedIn. This is something that a lot of people have been asking me recently. So I wanted to make an in-depth guide on kind of the 3 main ways that you can do this, starting with the easiest first. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first one is going to be sending in-mail messages. So in-mail messages are messages that you can send to people without being connected with them. So usually you need to be a first degree connection with somebody to be able to send them a message on LinkedIn. But an in-mail message is sort of like an email, and it's a way around that, except it's all on LinkedIn. So the way that you can send an in-mail message using Sales Navigator is by first going to Sales Navigator, then opening up a lead list or a saved search. I'll go to a saved search, and then usually you'll be able to send a message to anybody. So you can see this person's a third degree connection to me. If I go and hit message, it says new in-mail message, and then using one of 150 remaining credits. So you'd think I'd only be able to send 150 in-mail messages, but I'll tell you the way around it after I first tell you about in-mail credits. So by having a LinkedIn Premium subscription, you get 50 in-mail credits a month, and those will stack up to 3 months. So you could stack up to 150 in-mail credits, no more than that. So you'll want to use those in-mail credits before you hit that limit. But you can send 800 in-mail messages by taking advantage of something called an open profile. So what an open profile is, it's usually going to come along with this golden IN badge, which just means that somebody's a premium user. So when you sign up for LinkedIn Premium or LinkedIn Sales Navigator or a paid LinkedIn subscription, your profile is automatically going to become an open profile. So what that means, as you'll see now, if I hit message, it'll say new in-mail, but free to open profile. So this is the way that you're going to be able to bypass those limits first and foremost. And this is by far the most effective way to bypass any messaging limits on LinkedIn. Now, it does have a cap at 800 per month, and that'll roll over on the first of every single month. So, if it's the end of the month, you could send out 800, then come back at the beginning of the next month and send another 800. And that's fair game. The only limitation will be finding enough open profiles that you can send these messages to. Now, what I would recommend doing is keeping your message short and sweet, but usually I would recommend having a call to action, since you only kind of get one chance to interact with this person. They're either going to see the message and take an action from it, or they're just kind of going to ignore it and it'll sit in their inbox. But that is the first way around LinkedIn limits, and that is sending in-mails. So the second way around it is going to be a little bit more difficult, but really effective if you can get the right targeting. So what this is going to be is sending messages to people that are either attending an event or are part of a group. Now, what I would recommend doing is going after the people that are attending an event. And the reason why I say that is because, first of all, those people are probably going to be more active if the event was posted recently. The reason being is obviously people might have joined a group a year, 2 year, 3 years ago, and might not be as active on the platform. But if there's an event that was posted a month ago and is coming up in a couple days, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good idea to know that they're active on the platform. So with that being said, the way to do this is you can first go ahead and search for an event. So the way that you can do that is just on regular LinkedIn. Let's type in coaches. So if I type in the word coaches, now I'm going to have these filters at the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to events. You could also click groups if you wanted to, but I want to go off of events. So the Impact Leadership Conference of June 2022. So it looks like it's happening on Saturday, June 4th, 2022. Now, what you'll have to do first is mark yourself as attending. And now that you're attending, you'll be able to see the other 2003 attendees. So from here, what I like to do is sort by second and third degree connections. I'm going to reach out to people in the United States. So I'll do United States. And then what I'm going to do is go to all filters and now type in a title. So let's just type in executive coach. See how many of these will pop up. So no results. That was too specific. let's go back and do something more generic like owner. I'll go ahead and do owner, show results. Looks like we got one that popped up. So just to give an example of what you'll do to message this one person, you'll hit message. And now you can see, even though I'm a second degree connection with this person, I can go ahead and type a message out here and then send that over to them. You can do about 75 of these a day, which is a really large amount to be able to do. I mean, you can do the math on how many messages you'd be able to get out a month. Eventually, you will hit a limit on a daily, weekly basis, but that limit is pretty high. And even if you do hit a limit, a lot of times you can wait a couple minutes and still send out messages. So this is a really good way to get bulk messages out and also try to think creatively about the target of the event or the group. And that'll give you some insight into what that person is looking for. For example, if you look up scaling business, you look up an event about scaling your business, and you see people that are attending that, the art of scaling your landscape and snow business profitably. So if I was in landscape and snow, that would be one that I could go to. Maybe the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid when scaling your business in 2022. That's another potential one. But those people, everybody that marked themselves as attending, it's a pretty easy thing to think that they want to scale their business. So that is the second way around LinkedIn limits. So the downside to both of the tactics that I just shared is that you're not actually making new connections. You're only making messages that are getting sent out, and it's kind of one and done. So one of the best things about LinkedIn lead generation is that you're making new connections, first degree connections that are going to see any content that you post for forever, as long as LinkedIn is a platform. But they're also going to make it so you can message them without any issues for as long as they're a connection of yours and as long as LinkedIn is a platform. So the Inmail message is going to be kind of more one and done. Same with event and group messages, but making new connections is kind of the more sustainable long-term way. So that moves into the third way, which is going to be bypassing connection request limitations. So right now you're able to send about 150 to 250 connection requests each and every week. Now, the way around this is going to be through scraping email addresses and names of people and then going and uploading that list to LinkedIn. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make a lead list. So let's go ahead and do job title. We'll do founder, current company. Let's say I want the word staffing in there. So a staffing company and the founder. And I got 2.5K results, which is exactly the number that you're looking for. So regardless if it shows 1 million results, there's only 100 pages that are going to populate on LinkedIn, and there's 25 people on a page. So 25 times 100 is 2,500 people that show up when you do a search. And that's what you can actually see. Even if it's saying 1 million people, it's only going to show you 2,500 people. So it's a good thing to be aware of when you're doing these searches, that if you have a search of 10,000 people, you're going to want to break that down by either using company size, years of experience, something like that, or geography even. So now that I have this 2,500 list, I'm going to have to scrape the email addresses with something. So the tool that I would recommend using is called Wizza. So Wizza is just a way that doesn't scrape the information directly from LinkedIn. So it's not taking a LinkedIn email address. What it's doing is taking the name, title, and company of somebody, as well as location and other information. And it's going and scraping the internet to find hits on email addresses. So it's an indirect way of getting an email address that isn't necessarily going to be their LinkedIn email address, but has a high chance of being that. So I'll include the link to Wizza below. It's pretty easy to use. All you really do is download a Chrome extension, then you click the button and go through the prompts of exporting that list. Once you have that list exported, you're going to have a first and last name and a title, as well as an email address. All you really need is first and last name and then that email address. You're going to take that and put that in a CSV file which it'll already be in. And then the final step with that is going to be going to regular old LinkedIn, clicking My Network at the top, going to Add Personal Contacts, and then hitting More Options. And now you'll see who you already know on LinkedIn. So what you can do here, there's a bunch of different options. You're going to want to choose upload a file. And then as long as it's in the right format, you'll be able to upload that file. Then it'll bring you to another page with all of those people. And the unfortunate thing is you'll have to click one by one to get them connected with you. So you'll have to go and check mark one by one. But this is a really effective way of bypassing those limits. Hopefully, all of this information was helpful to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can search for Chris Cozzolino, and I will be the one that will pop up. If you want any help with LinkedIn or you want to chat with my team at Uptown Creation, go to uptowncreation.com and book a discovery call. And that'll be the best way to talk about a LinkedIn strategy for you. The free way to help us out, if you got any value from this video, is to toss a like and subscribe, and that really helps us out. So thank you for watching and enjoy bypassing those limitations on LinkedIn.